And protests against Trump's victory have also sprouted up again in other cities. Students across California have staged walkouts and marches for the second day in a row. There were also demonstrations this afternoon in Arizona and New York.
Now, these demonstrations follow last night's protest in Providence and several other cities around the country. You can count on Eyewitness News for continuing coverage of Trump's transition to power on air and online at WDPRI.com.
Here in Rhode Island, we're tracking developing news in the bitter contest between House Speaker Nicholas Mattiello and Republican Stephen Frias for the District 15 seat.
We're still awaiting the results from the mail ballot count, but Frias is already accusing the Mattiello camp of wrongdoing. Eyewitness News reporter Jared Planner has been monitoring the situation at the Board of Elections all day long. He joins us now live from the Providence Mobile Newsroom. Jared?
Mike Shannon, good evening. Well, the counting below has really quieted down. Everybody's migrated upstairs. We're going to give you a look at this room where everybody is gathered, and they are looking to these now blank monitors to start rolling the results. Today, the major headline, Steve Frias and the state Republican Party filed a complaint with the Board of Elections asking for a counting freeze. In the end, the board voted unanimously on how to handle everything.
I want the BOE and the state police to investigate this.
Republican Stephen Frias, challenger to House Speaker Nicholas Mattiello, believes there might have been mail ballot fraud in Cranston. Frias says this is what an anonymous caller told him this morning.
People would go out, collect the mail ballots, but the notaries were not signing them in front of the people who were voting.
Frias also spoke with Larry Winkler, a mail-in voter featured in the Providence Journal, who described a Mattiello campaign staffer standing over him as he voted at home.
The person said, why are you doing that for? So the person obviously watched them cast a vote, interfered in his voting process by asking why he was voting for me. They didn't even notarize it or witness it in front of him, which is a clear violation. This is the Mattiello way of doing mail ballots.
Mattiello campaign spokeswoman Patty Doyle shot back, quote, the attempts by Republican Steve Frias to interrupt and delay the counting of the ballots of the District 15 election is an effort to disenfranchise over 700 votes of the people he sought to represent. Frias, who was up by 147 votes election night, called for the BOE to stop counting the 714 Cranston mail ballots immediately. The board decided to continue and take no further action until Wednesday.
Until after we've tabulated the results and added them into the final results. There is an opportunity to request that the attorneys review those mail ballot applications.
So again, the plan is to put out those preliminary uncertified numbers tonight and give attorneys the ability to access those mail-in ballot applications and examine them. Now, new at 6 o'clock, we talked to Brandon Bell, the chair of the state Republican Party, and we are also keeping tabs on those casino numbers out of Tiverton, that local result. And we'll see you next hour. For now, live inside the Board of Elections with the Providence Mobile Newsroom, I'm Jared Planner, Eyewitness News.
This news is following breaking news in campaign 2016. Right now, the tally of mail ballots continues at the Board of Elections in 2 key races.
Ballots are being counted in the District 15 House seat, which Speaker Nick Mattiello's seat, and Question 8 in Tiverton over the building of a Twin River casino there. Eyewitness News reporter Jared Planner is live at the Board of Elections with the latest information for us tonight. Jared?
Mike Shannon, good evening. So as in nights past, when we saw that basement area where the counting was active, that has stopped. Everybody has come upstairs and have gathered in this room behind me where they're waiting for screens to illuminate and show the results to everybody. Now, there was a headline today involving a complaint from Stephen Frias. The Board of Elections said it was not going to grind counting to a halt. That was not the right thing to do. It would release the uncertified vote counts, let both sides' attorneys examine the mail ballot applications, and then reconvene next week. Republican Steve Frias, as mentioned, up by 147 votes over House Speaker Nicholas Mattiello on election night, asked the Board of Elections to stop counting the 714 Cranston mail-in ballots, concerned about fraud there. The board declined, but plans to revisit the matter on Wednesday. Now, this seemingly started when Mattiello still declared victory on Tuesday and told us that night he was confident about 300 mail ballots would put him over the top. State GOP Chair Brandon Bell filed the complaint along with Frias today.
So if he said that he's going to win by 300 votes, he knows something. And we now have instances possibly of 2 potential instances of fraud.
Volunteers would go to people's houses, collect the emergency mail ballot, return it, and that a notary would then sign it there.
Just hold on. instead of signing in the presence of the voter to make clear. Frias cited an anonymous caller this morning in making those accusations against the Mattiello campaign. And a Cranston voter, Larry Winkler, also told the Pro-Joe a Mattiello worker intimidated him as he voted in his own home. Mattiello spokeswoman Patty Doyle today accused Frias of trying to disenfranchise Cranston voters with his demand that the counting of their ballots be stopped. And as we come back on frame here, I'm joined by, come on in here, Steph Machado, my colleague, who was in the room as the panel started to illuminate here and come in. We started some of the results. So what do we have here, Steph?
So we have District 15 race. This is the Speaker Mattiello versus Stephen Frias race. The unofficial results with mail ballots counted 35-82 for Mattiello and 35-17 for Stephen Frias. So that would be a win for Mattiello with a less than 70 vote margin.
Okay, again, we have a lot of moving parts here, as we've told you about the things that Steve Frias and the Republican Party are concerned and what the plan is moving forward. Steve Frias, by the way, also said that whatever way this comes out, he still wants the Rhode Island State Police to go in there and take a look as to if anything happened in the city of Cranston that would be illegal. We're also watching that Tiverton casino question, what the local voters said at the end of the day. They were ahead, but again, not the margins are tight, and that's why we are looking at these races again and the mail-in totals today. We are going to have, what we're going to do is we're going to come back at 6:30 on Fox Providence and fill you in on what we know. Things very active in the room behind me. For now, Mike and Shannon, back to you.